And how does it impact the masses? It starts from the cost of transportation and the cost of energy,
which would ripple down
yes.
to the cost of
now let's take the cost of transportation, for instance, which will be the one that will affect everyone, including the most vulnerable of the vulnerables,
yes,
in Nigeria, that we intend to help. Now, how does this work? Let's start. If the driver buys fuel at a very high cost, then in order for him to at least break even, he's going to increase the price of transportation per kilometer.
Definitely.
To cover up for his cost per kilometer.
Definitely.
The cost of doing business by a transport operator is number one, the wear and tear of his vehicle, vis-a-vis the depreciation he pays per annum or per whatever period or per kilometer on that vehicle. Then there's the repair and maintenance of the vehicle. Then the human resource that operates the vehicle. In some cases, for individual, it may be the driver himself and the conductor. For a company that run like some of these ones that do interstate, it will be the administrative office and the driver's commission or their salary, however they are paid. Then the key input they have is fuel. That is their key supply. They use it on a daily basis. So if that shoots up, they will work it per kilometer and put it into the price. Now imagine a woman who goes to Zakibiam to go and buy yams and bring to Abuja to sell. His cost of doing business is the transport to Zakibiam, the cost of that yam, whatever she does around there to load it into a vehicle and bring it back to Abuja and offload and then distribute to buyers. All these things forms her cost. So if the transport portion component of the cost increases, then she will increase the price of yam. Now the most vulnerable of the vulnerables also buy yam. So he or she is going to buy yam at a high price.
Which is a staple in Nigeria.
You understand? I just use yam as an example. We can do that for rice, for every other thing. For things that they even move from Abuja or from Kano to Benue. So this is how the fuel subsidy issue is going to play out for everybody, including the most vulnerables of the vulnerable, as they caption it.
Yep.
Now, if you now give the most vulnerables of the vulnerables 5,000 each, for instance, and then yam that used to sell for 500 naira now sell for 1,500 naira, how many yams can he buy from that 5,000? And how long is the 5,000 going to last him? This is the reason I said it is a wrong move by the government to try to share this money out to those people. Because these vulnerables of the vulnerable, unless you empower them to start contribute economically, they are just consumers.
They're beggars.
So when you throw these things into their hand, they consume it and say, give me more.
It's like giving alms.
Exactly. So how can we sustainably take care of these people? We need to look at the place where this cost will come from and work on it. Where will it come from? Public transport system. In the meantime, why do we want to share $800 million to people when we can use that to put public transport system immediately? This one is not put it in refinery, it's going to yield in 1 year, it's going to yield in 2 years. No, this is a case of using this money to buy big buses. For instance, this is just one of the many solutions one can prescribe for this issue. You can buy buses. For instance, in Abuja, why do we need 100,000 cars, 200 or even 500,000 cars moving in a day? If I had a reliable transportation system within Abuja, I wouldn't drive my car. I will only drive it maybe on weekend where I have to go to somewhere that is off the movement track of the public transport. Why don't we have big buses moving maybe from Abaji to town, from Kaduna Road to the town, from even Kefi to the town every day, so that all these thousands, hundreds of thousands of vehicles that need to buy for every day now uses public transport. And the price will be cheap because, you know why? Economy of scale.
Go ahead.
Will reduce the price, the cost to everybody, and public servants who also have relatives in the village who are vulnerables, or the most vulnerables of the vulnerables, can now have extra money to take care of themselves and probably send to their people, this is sustainable. If we replicate this in Abuja, Kano, and Lagos, and maybe at Port Harcourt and some of the other mega cities, it will drastically reduce the impact on people. And then we can try to move this to all other states. And then we can continue pushing the rail project with any amount of money we get. Let there be a rail crisscrossing every state in the country. If we fix transport system to have a public transport system that many people shares, then the impact will reduce. We can discuss the issue of power on the other side, which is what will affect the operation of small businesses and shoot up their cost of production. And as a result, shoot up the price at which they sell to the market. And which is going to go back and affect the most vulnerables of the vulnerables.
If you're just joining us, this is Vital Point on the breakfast show this morning. Wisin Agaba is breathing fire this morning.
From all corners.
Let's quickly take this call.
We should start thinking. We should start thinking.
Elias, this one. Hello, good morning.